The date of Luke Harper's AEW Dynamite debut revealed. We talk about that and the recent rumors next on the Squared Circle Psychobabble. Hello and welcome to the Squared Circle Psychobabble. My name is Michael Valenti for news, reviews, and conversations on all things pro wrestling. Subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. So last Monday, AEW announced that they are having an AEW Dynamite taping on March 18th at the Blue Cross Arena in Rochester, New York. Rochester, New York happens to be the hometown of Luke Harper, aka Brodie Lee. And we all know back in December, WWE released Luke Harper. And with that release, he has a 90-day no-compete clause. That 90-day no-compete clause expires on March 8th. Which happens to be 10 days before the AEW Dynamite taping at the Blue Cross Arena. So what better way to debut him than on that March 18th show in front of a hometown crowd, get a really good reaction. And of course, you know, if you want to make him a babyface, what better way than to get that hometown reaction? Now, obviously this is all rumor and speculation, but those rumors and speculations have always been there since the news broke that he was being released from WWE. And in fact, Cody Rhodes even commented on this back in December, where Alex McCarthy of TalkSport said that Rhodes commented saying that he would be a great part of AEW. Now, those speculations again escalated when Harper, aka Brodie Lee, appeared at a Pro Wrestling Night event in Corpus Christi for the Ice Rays hockey team with AEW wrestler Sammy Guevara. And in fact, Harper appeared on that episode for Sammy Guevara's vlog where he showcased his time at the Ice Rays game. Again, there's a lot of people talking about how Luke Harper will be appearing on AEW, and he's one of those names that are mentioned as being the exalted one for the Dark Order. Now, other names thrown around there are Matt Hardy, who is set to be leaving WWE after his contract expires on March 1st. And also Marty Scurll, who recently re-signed with Ring of Honor, but according to reports, his contract allows him to be a part of Ring of Honor, NWA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and has not prevented him from being in AEW as well. So there's always those people saying that Marty Scurll will end up being the leader of the Dark Order. But, you know, Luke Harper does have experience with these cult-like factions. We saw this with the Wyatt family. He was never the leader of the Wyatt family, obviously, but he was a part of that Wyatt family, and it obviously makes sense if he's going to be the leader of the Dark Order, a cult-like faction there as well. Personally, though, I would rather see him with a singles run first. This is something that, you know, WWE never really did with Luke Harper. They never really pushed him as a single star. Yes, I get it. He was a former Intercontinental Champion, but that reign never really lasted. And he was more of a tag team partner for Eric Rowan during the highlights of his WWE run. And believe me, I loved him with Eric Rowan. The Bludgeon Brothers were great. However, Eric Rowan's injury history really prevented the growth of Luke Harper, and Luke Harper had his fair share of injuries as well, but they were never as bad as Eric Rowan's. And I would love to see Brodie Lee, Luke Harper, whatever you want to call him, have a singles run in AEW, and he could have some great matches with guys like Jon Moxley, with Pac, with even Chris Jericho, Luchasaurus. I would love to have them. Let me know in the comments what kind of matches you would like to see Brodie Lee have when he joins if he joins AEW. Now, of course, this is all rumor and speculation, as I said, and that's all because there's a report from Dave Meltzer, who spoke on Wrestling Observer Radio earlier this week, suggesting that he's actually heading to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Earlier this month, my brother Ralph and I, recently did our latest edition of the All Elite Wrestling Draft. If you haven't watched that, I'll put the eye above my head where you could check that out. And in that episode, I actually predicted that Harper would end up in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and simply because think of all the great matches that he could have in that strong style with that amazing roster in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Guys that come to mind, Minoru Suzuki, Tomohiro Ishii, you know, maybe they put him in a match with Hiroshi Tanahashi. And you never know. Maybe we see Brodie Lee versus Kazuchika Okada one day if he signs with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Heck, put him in the G1 Climax. He can have a great showing just like Jon Moxley did last year, like Kenta did last year, like Lance Archer did last year. Guys that weren't really big names in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but became names after the G1 Climax. I think he would blend nicely in New Japan Pro Wrestling with that strong style. So it makes a lot of sense for him to end up there. Now, of course, there's always the situation where he could work at both promotions. We've seen that with Jon Moxley, as I mentioned. He was in the G1. He is the current IWGP US champion. He is going to be at the New Beginning shows, both shows in Sapporo, where he will be teaming with Kazuchika Okada one night. He'll be in a 8-man tag the next night. And then the following weekend, he will be defending that US title against Minoru Suzuki in a dream match. I can't wait for that match. So, and of course, he was just recently wrestling both nights of Wrestle Kingdom, where he beat Lance Archer in a Texas Death Match and then beat Juice Robinson the following night to retain the U.S. title. Chris Jericho was also part of Wrestle Kingdom and has done both AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling since signing those contracts, beating Hiroshi Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom. So it is possible for Harper or Brodie Lee to do both. And I wouldn't mind if he did both. I would love to see him in AEW. I would love to see him in New Japan. So if he can make it work, if both promotions can make it work, why not have him in both promotions? Now, of course, Moxley and Jericho aren't the only ones that are, working both promotions, at least for now. There is another person that could be doing the dual promotion work, as SI.com, Sports Illustrated, is reporting that AEW is in heavy talks with Lance Archer, as, the guy that I just mentioned, as the man that Moxley defeated to regain the IWGP US title in a Texas Death Match on night one of Wrestle Kingdom. Now, Archer is touring with New Japan starting tonight when this episode goes up for the New Beginning USA tour that's starting in Tennessee. So either he's working as a freelancer, just doing these New Japan dates, or he has that flexibility like Jericho and Moxley have, where they can also work other promotions and include AEW. This whole thing with Archer can happen with Harper as well. Maybe we do see Harper and Archer one-on-one in either New Japan or AEW very soon. And if that happens, I don't care what promotion it is. I want to see it. I think that would be a great match. I would love to see Moxley and Brodie Lee in a match. I would love to see Jericho and Brodie Lee in a match. And again, I'd love to see Brodie Lee with Minoru Suzuki, Tomohiro Ishii. Honestly, if he could work both promotions, I would love to see it. If he ends up being just New Japan, I'd be okay with it. If he ends up in just AEW, I'd also be okay with it. But if he is showing up in AEW, it looks like if they could get the contract signed within 10 days after that no-compete clause is done, what better way to debut him than on March 18th at the Blue Cross Arena in his hometown of Rochester, New York. Let me know in the comments if you think it's going to happen, who you'd like to see Luke Harper face first in AEW, or if he goes to New Japan, who he'd like to face first in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Don't forget to share this all over social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at SCPV Podcast. And for news, reviews, and conversations on all things pro wrestling, subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. My name is Michael Valenti. Thank you for watching this episode of the Squared Circle Psychobabble.